Well, just a little update here regarding this, the recent influx of money from other central banks into our system. I wanted to read just a little paragraph of which Mike Whitney published over at Counterpunch. It's entitled Black Friday on October the 13th. And this, just because the market just went up a little bit during the last few days, it bears importance to listen to. The biggest danger we face, he says, in the short term, is a run on the financial system. Of course, everyone is worried about this. Calm must be restored, just like Bush said, of course, and Mike Whitney is not a Bush supporter, if we want to avoid a complete depression. Investors have already pulled out $72 billion from stock and mutual funds and put the money in U.S. Treasuries and government-insured bank deposits. If this trend continues, the financial system will eventually collapse. If this were leadership, this is where leadership and credibility really matter. The Bush administration's record on these issues is dismal. If the government overreacts and limits bank withdrawals or closes the stock market, the sense of desperation and panic will only grow. That increases the likelihood of rioting and violence, which is precisely what took place in China 2 weeks ago. The falling stock market reflects the mood of the country as a whole. Confidence in the system has disappeared. The government has lost the moral authority to rule. People have lost faith in basically everything. Bush has created a tinderbox which could explode in flames at any time. This is a dangerous situation. That's a paragraph from Mike Whitney's essay. And of course, Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, this is right out of the Mussolini mold, by the way. Berlusconi is essentially, he truly is a fascist, and if you ever look into his policies in Italy alone, you will know that he controls 99% of the press. He has his political opponents essentially eliminated from the political spectrum on a regular basis. And basically, this guy has taken part in some of those meetings, and he has heard something, and he may have just let the cat out of the bag over the weekend. This guy, Berlusconi, Prime Minister of Italy, was openly discussing the idea of suspending the markets for the time it takes to rewrite the rules. Now, of course, this has all been denied by the White House, of course, and it was quickly knocked down by Deputy Press Secretary Tony Fratto. And noting, he said that there's absolutely no plans at all to, or any discussion to interfere in the markets or the function of those markets within the United States. So after this big White House press conference, Berlusconi, of course, had to retract his statements. But rest assured, those discussions are very much taking place. Don't kid yourself about it. Anytime you have a major financial crisis like this, people are considering drastic options, and those options do include imposing a banking holiday. And as it happened in Argentina and other places, once a banking holiday, and what that means, what that refers to, is essentially shutting down the stock market altogether, and also stopping all banking transactions across the nation and perhaps even globally. What that will signal, if it actually comes about, what that will signal is that the confidence has not been restored in the system. And so watch out for this kind of a move, because if that happens, our currency is going to be devaluated. In other words, it'll happen overnight. You won't get any advance notice of it. And so all these rumors in terms of these internet rumors that Bank of America received signs, oh, we're going to be, due to unforeseen circumstances, our banks are going to be closed. You know, that's all BS. I mean, no bank manager of some little bank branch is going to receive advance notice of this whatsoever. It would create complete panic if that were to happen. So, you know, people in the banking industry talk, so nobody knows what's going to happen. But if it does happen, you can rest assured that your currency, everything you have in the bank, is probably going to lose its value overnight. And what you still have in there is going to be gone. It'll be whatever you have in the bank, whether the FDIC insures it or not. Once you have a banking holiday, it becomes an extremely serious situation. So I think people should remain vigilant all along, and it may happen, it may not happen. You know, if it does happen, we are in very, very serious trouble, because it means currency devaluation, and you can basically, if you don't have a wheelbarrow at your house, maybe you should go buy one now, because that's probably what you're going to need to buy a gallon of milk, and to truck your money over, if you still have any cash, to truck your wheelbarrow over to the next grocery store once the shelves are being replenished with some basic items like bread, milk, food, and basic foods. That is, we're in no sense out of the woods here. And just because the market went up yesterday, and it's going to be, you know, volatile for the immediate future, don't trust the system, because this big money that is flowing into the banks now from U.S. Treasury and from other central banks around the globe is not solving the underlying problem. And the underlying problem is this: you can't have a functioning economy based on worthless paper derivatives and insurance policies, which are then traded along, which have absolutely no value whatsoever. So it may solve the situation temporarily, but unless strict controls and regulations are being put back into place, which the U.S. Treasury, by the way, is refusing to do even now, the long-term problem is not going to be solved at all. So don't get up your hopes too high. We're still on the precipice, and this is nothing to joke about, folks. Nothing at all. Put some cash away for the next month or so, because anything could happen at any point. Thanks for listening. Good night.